Good morning and welcome to another Gribley's Folly Sunday Antisocial Hour. That time each week when I smoke my pipe and complain about humanity while also answering his questions. And do I look thinner? Am I skinny? Am I svelte? That's because I lost 6 pounds this week. In fact, I lost 6 pounds in the last 72 hours. And so can you. I'll share my weight loss secrets after this. Step 1 to losing 6 pounds in 72 hours. Get the norovirus. That's it. There's only one step. I am miraculously smoking Old Limey Bastard in a Missouri Meerschaum Legend second. This pipe is not even elite enough to be in the Missouri Meerschaum front line. That'll come into play later. And I'm miraculously drinking a little bit of decaf coffee. Both of these are a little risky right now. I was not able to eat dinner tonight, so I might have to stop either of these consumptions during the course of this broadcast and go throw up. And no, it's not because I was smoking Prince Albert's or Elizabethan mixture. It's because my entire family got a gastrointestinal virus. I was the first and hardest hit, I really don't know what to say except that I'm glad to be with you because I was somewhere else the past couple of days. I could do an entire video on throwing up and why I don't like it, but I have a lot of good questions this week. So let me just stop here. Do you guys really hate to throw up? Like really, really hate to throw up? Because my wife says that my problem is I hate to throw up so much that I get so tense knowing I'm going to throw up. That's what causes all my problems when I get a virus like this. I think I'm just more sensitive. I've talked to other people on both sides of this issue, and I think that some people just, my hands became paralyzed in hyperflexion. My entire body was tingling and numb. I couldn't breathe. This is what happened last time. Anyway, we spent 1 minute and 45 on this. That's too much. Let's get to your questions. If you're unfamiliar with how this process works, if you have no penis or your question is marked as spam by YouTube, your question goes to the front of the line. Anyone can leave a question, penis or no, with the hashtag AskGribs in the comments on any of my videos. I reserve the right to answer comments that were not hashtag AskGribs. A couple of those will come up. And as you know, I am bound by oath to answer any question. That'll also come up today. Here we go. Our first question is from someone with a penis because no one without a penis left a comment that I know of. I don't know. I don't really have a way to check. But Derek Tant, Ask Gribs, what is St. Patrick's Day even about? I discussed this in a video years ago, and I think it's about commercialization of alcohol. The deal is, I did some research, Derek. You knew I would. You knew I would. Because I'm worried about you, fact checker out there. So, apparently there was this dude named Patrick in like 400. And he defied a church order and went to Ireland and preached Christianity. The church said, or he was like a bishop, and the church was like, bishops can't leave their diocese. He was like, screw you, I'm going to take these pagan Irish some Christianity. So he did. And so that is ostensibly the basis for St. Patrick's Day. And it was canonized, that's not the right word. It was officially recognized by the church as a holiday in the late 1600s. So there's a lot of time there. There's like 1,200 years there where I guess it was just culturally celebrated but not religiously celebrated. In any event, that is the, you know, the tradition, the myth, the ostensible reason that St. Patrick's Day is a thing, but I think it's a separate question. Why do damn Americans celebrate St. Patrick's Day? Except that, you know, I mean, I'm Irish as hell, and many of us white folk are of Irish descent here in the States. And I think that I should go back to make sure I'm consistent, because I know Derek Tant will check. Fact checker Tant, he'll go back and see what the rye content was on my previous St. Patrick's Day video, but I think I'm on record saying I'm not a big fan of the holiday. I don't drink that much, and you know, I'm not really too sensitive about professing negative Irish stereotypes because I mean, yeah. So I think that's, I'm not going to get offended about that, but I am offended by anytime you take something of meaning and turn it into something you can sell at a pub. That offends me. And as we all know, anything that offends me doesn't fly. Speaking of commercializing Irish culture for profit, does anybody want this Peterson Christmas pipe from 2014? I showed it to you in a previous video. I'll show it to you real quick. It's going on eBay if nobody speaks up. I think Shovel and Shane was interested, but yeah, he can bid on eBay. It's a, we went through this last time. I don't know what shape it is. Let's pull it out and look at it. It's a, the wine colored bit is why I never, it's unsmoked, why I never really bonded with it. And it's a shape 303, Peterson of Dublin Christmas pipe. If you want it, comment down below or email gribleysfolly@gmail.com. Grant Reynard had some very interesting comments, including things about bears, urination, and bald eagles singing Marvin Gaye songs. And he asked Gribbs, as a level 50 shaman, which I am, what are some signs of spring you can pass on? Well, Grant, I'm told by the old ones that in the spring flowers bloom, the grass greens, it becomes more green. And the sign that I'm waiting for is fresh bear poop in my woods, actually. I'm still finding like frozen bear poop from last year. So I think spring will be here when I find a big steaming pile of fresh bear poop. And that's when I'll have to start watching my 6 for bears as opposed to abominable snowmen. Oh, look at this. Another Derek Tant related question. Ed, O-D-T, left a comment on my famous video entitled, I can't remember what it's titled, the one where I said Derek Tant is wrong, 5 reasons you should not hoard pipe tobacco. And in that video, I said that I was not an economist, I was not an expert. If you can get an economist, what's the joke? If you can get a parrot to repeat supply and demand, you have an economist. Anyway, I called myself a lawn chair economics expert, and Ed calls him. He says that his lawn chair is fancier than mine, and he disputed a lot of points in the video I made. And Ed, thank you for the comment, disparaging as it was. And I disagree that. I mean, obviously, it's a good thing for the industry. The more people that buy. Okay, let me back up. Everybody should go buy pipe tobacco. If you want pipe tobacco, go buy it. I was wrong in that video. Don't hoard it. Don't go into debt for it. But I have admitted, I'm on record, I was wrong in that video. However, supply and demand. I'm a parrot, basically. So expect prices to rise. And Ed was asking me, because his point was the more people buy something, the more of it is produced, and then economies of scale, right? It's easier to produce more of something cheaply. And he brought up ammo, and Ed must not be a shooter, because no, ammo is in more demand now than ever, and it has never been more expensive. In my memory, I remember when I could walk into the general store and buy a brick of .22 long rifle for $5. $5. How times have changed. So, Ed, thank you for the comment. Everybody else, go buy some pipe tobacco. Contemplative Piper asks Gribbs, in the spirit of pressing arena combat questions and the aforementioned hatred of poultry, would you rather fight 100 angry turkeys or 100 angry geese using a golf club of your choice? Well, Contemplative Piper, it's a very simple answer. I lust for the blood of geese. Contemplative Piper also asks, is that the South Carolina flag sneaking into the video? Yes, it is. Yes, indeed, right there. I was actually in South Carolina for the most of this week, the good part of the week, when I wasn't spewing my damn guts out. I was in South Carolina. Going to be a video of that coming up. It was pretty fun. Timber Drifter. leaves amazing comments on my channel and on Instagram. Thank you, sir. What would you do if you saw a tiger on your trail camera? Not go into the woods. I don't know where you live, but here there are quite a few privately owned tigers. It's conceivable one could get loose. Where do you live that there are privately owned tigers? Who wants to privately own a tiger? Why in the hell would you bring that kind of predator into your home? Like, my cat would kill me if it could. It weighs like 6 pounds, so it can't. Coincidentally, I lost 6 pounds this week. If I saw a tiger on the trail cam, I would get the hell out. First, if I was with someone, I would pry out their eyeballs and sew them to the back of my hat. Because that is one way I've heard that you can discourage predation by big cats, is if they think you're looking at them from the back, they get freaked out. Well, I mean, if they don't want to attack you when they think, but wouldn't it freak you out if you were going to eat me and then you saw some eyeballs on the back of my hat? Bearded Skywalker asks Gribs. First time question, by the way. Have you ever thought that humans are actually imaginary and the only reason we can see each other is because other humans are imaginary too? No, I had never thought that. Thank you so much. Everybody seemed to think last episode was like the best Sunday antisocial ever because basically you were watching me have an existential crisis on camera. And do I think humans are imaginary? Probably so. I think that so much is imaginary that it's very hard to say what makes up actual reality. So, I mean, that's the whole, like, the simulation theory hypothesis. I'm too dehydrated. My tongue is swollen from being so dehydrated. Hang on. Let me drink some coffee. The simulation theory hypothesis is that, in theory, an advanced enough civilization would make simulations of universes, right? So all it takes is one civilization getting there, and then it makes a simulation, and then the civilization in that simulation makes a simulation. You get what I'm saying? Odds are against us being in the base reality, right? So I don't necessarily believe in that, because I think there are limits to computing power. But then there's quantum computers. I don't know. So, no, I don't think humans are real. I mean, I think that we are real creatures. Like, the body certainly exists, but what we think of as people, not real. Over a pipe asked Gribs, given the similarities in hats, who would win in a contest of survivability? Indiana Jones or Crocodile Dundee? And that's the winner question for this week. I don't know what should win. It's just, that's the one that kept me up at night. Actually, I was puking. But I was also thinking, who would win a survivability? That's kind of how my week was. Crocodile Dundee. I'm sorry. I mean, I love Indiana Jones, and obviously he would win in any. If he's on the edge of civilization, he wins, right? I mean, the dude like beats up Nazis for fun. But like out in the bush, truly in a survival situation, I'm gonna give it to Crocodile Dundee. Indiana Jones doesn't even carry a knife. One of the most interesting things about being a career YouTuber at this point, I mean, I've been doing this like 3 years now, and I've made nuns of dollars. And one of the things I find really interesting is the videos that people come back and comment on again and again and again. Greg Tunnel commented on my Prince Albert video, my review, the definitive Gribley's Folly review of Prince Albert. He says, I wouldn't diss it while smoking it in a corncob pipe, shaking my head. Well, Greg, I think you should lighten up and have some fun. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that your precious Prince Albert had to be smoked in like a birth year Dunhill to be truly appreciated. It's the worst tobacco I've ever tried. And you want me to get a nicer pipe for it? No, luckily cobs don't ghost. I still threw that one away just for good measure. And if anybody else out there is offended by my corncob pipes, that doesn't fly. I'm offended that you're offended. Look, corncob pipes are the best smoke you can have. And for the money, well, they're still the best smoke because the best is the best and you can't. Is the best real? Like, seriously, you ever think about that? Like, the best is just a concept that we temporarily make. You know, like, is there an... I don't know. The point that I'm trying to make is a corncob pipe is a great smoke. And I have briar pipes that I love and that smoke great. But they're not going to help Prince Albert. This is a hobby. It's supposed to be fun. I don't understand why people get so offended over their petty favorites that they start like multi-year rivalries with other pipers over something as simple as toaster strudel. Prince Albert. John Galdieri swings for the fences this week. Ask Gribbs, what is the most difficult question you could imagine someone asking you in an Ask Gribbs question, almost to the point where you couldn't even answer it? Well, does difficult in this situation mean like difficult to find a correct answer, or like emotionally hard to answer the question? Because if it's difficult to find like calculus, you could ask me a calculus question, and I would struggle with that. In fact, I was going to be a physics major for like a week until I took my first calculus class, and then I realized I wasn't going to be a physics major. Emotionally, I doubt anyone, I say this, and this is the internet, so I'm sure people will try, but asking me questions like of the sort that my brain asks me during an OCD episode, hypothetical questions, this isn't one of the hypothetical questions that my childhood OCD brain asked me, but like, would you rather see all kittens burned alive or all puppies? Something like that. That'd be a pretty tough question to answer. All geese? That'd be okay. Dale Piper, that cheeky Dale Piper with his owl pipe. Can't believe I didn't get that right. Anyway, Dale Piper, Ask Gribbs. I've lost my research. Where is my immaculately prepared research? See, I put my phone on the computer and then I can't. There it is. All right, Dale Piper, Ask Gribbs, with your in-depth knowledge of the Old Testament, could you explain to me mathematically how Noah was able to get all those animals into the ark? Absolutely. It's totally easy. Research. Where's the research? Oh my God. Hang on. Research. Okay. So, this is not that hard. It sounds like a big deal, right? Like, I'm tabbed away from the research. Okay, I'm just going to do this. It sounds like a big deal because here are the instructions that Noah got from the Almighty. It's like, no pressure, Noah, but Genesis 6:19, New International Version, you are to bring into the ark 2 of all living creatures, male and female, to keep them alive with you. 2 of every kind of bird, every kind of animal, every kind of creature that moves along the ground will come with you to be kept alive. You're to take every kind of food that is to be eaten and stored away, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I have in front of me from the Biomass Distribution on Earth by Bar-On, Phillips, and Milo, PNAS 2018, whatever that means. I have in front of me the biomass distribution of all creatures on Earth. Noah got off on a technicality, right? So we got this big square. So fully 83% of life on Earth is plants. So right there, you're down to you only got to worry about 17% because God did not mention plants. It's only animals and creatures, right? And as we know, the dove flew off and brought an olive branch back. So the plants were obviously safe off the ark, right? So we can wipe plants off the table. No big deal. Plants are taken care of. Out of the rest, out of the 17%, that leaves us with 73, 12, 4, 11. I can't do math. See, you said that word mathematically, and that threw me off. It leaves us with let's just say 100% of what's left. Of that, 73% is bacteria, right? So all of that can basically fit in a petri dish. Next is fungi. I don't know why you'd want to save fungi, but whatever, you can fit that in. It's going to be wet on the ark. You can just grow the mushrooms on the ark, basically. After that is archaea, which this says microorganisms. So again, one more petri dish, you're fine. After that is protists at 4 gigatons. Protists are worms? No. They're also microorganisms? Looks like they're also... So we got 3 petri dishes, some mushrooms growing on the ark. Now, out of all life on Earth, animals make up only 2.5 gigatons. Of that, 0.2 gigatons is viruses. I know a little about that this week. So that's what, a 3rd petri dish, 4th petri dish at this point? Then you got things like nematodes, and cnidarians, aquatic invertebrates. I'm guessing you can fit all of that into an aquarium. Mollusks, annelids, terrestrial arthropods. Wait, those might actually be big. Well, anyway, what, like a shipping container? You can totally fit all this in there. Fish are 0.67 gigatons. Livestock is 0.11. Marine arthropods. What the hell is an arthropod? Maybe it's like an octopus. I don't know. Humans eventually make up 0.06 gigatons. We are like 1/3 the mass of viruses on the planet. And remember, you really only need 2 of each of these things. So, I mean, you need 2 of each species, but it's not like you need all the dolphins. You just need 2 dolphins. And I mean, well, why didn't the dolphins, could they just ride in like a sidecar that's like submerged in the water? Like, why do they have to be on the ark? For that matter, we can just take marine arthropods and like mollusks, we can get rid of 0.94 gigatons right there because they can just be in the water. Like, why would they have to be on the ark? I mean, it doesn't say that in scripture, but you got to think, like, does God want Noah to waste all his time building a giant aquarium on the ark when he's getting ready to flood the entire planet? Finally, I am not just a biblical scholar and level 50 shaman, I am also a Minecrafter. And I once built a scale model of Noah's Ark in Minecraft, believe it or not. And I was able to fit all the creatures in Minecraft onto that ark. So that is definitive proof. It's totally possible. Plug. Ask Gribbs if it came to a flock of geese or a pack of chimps, would you have a chance? No. Well, yeah, with a flock of geese, I think I'd be okay. A flock, I'm okay. I think the previous question was 100 geese. I don't know. 100 geese might take me down, but I would die trying, man. But yeah, a pack of chimps, I don't think I would have a chance against that. If they really, you know, again, we're back to the arena combat thing. Like, it's somebody doesn't walk out alive. I think the chimps would get me. Typing Piper. Ask Gribbs, if your degree is in the closet, is it coming out on Degree Pride Day? For that to happen, I would have to have some pride in my degree. Ask Gribbs, if one was to travel at the speed of light, how long would they have to travel to come back and have the new Tool album finally be released? How long would they have to travel to come back and have all the surviving members of Tool already dead? Dude, you said, what if space doesn't exist, but it's just a matter of matter affecting other matter? That's gravity, and gravity affects time. Ask Gribbs, haven't you seen Interstellar? Interstellar was not a good movie. It had Matthew McConaughey in it. Come on. Now, if you recast that with, like, Stephen Hawking, rest his soul, rest his, he didn't believe in souls, so whatever, rest Stephen Hawking. If you recast, it's just turned into a really insensitive joke. Typing Piper asks Gribbs, should the Meditations by Marcus Aurelius be moved to the Buddhist section of the bookstore? No. No, they should be placed right next to the Thomas Harris novels. I think I'm going to have to stop smoking my pipe for the evening. Feeling a little woozy. Just drink some more coffee. Sure that'll help. Sam asks Gribbs, how many single dress socks do you figure you have wandering around in your sock drawer? 7, I counted. Robert Dixon asks Gribbs, what wattage would you suggest on 10 meters? Seems most CB radios nowadays tune 10 and 11 meters, vintage Cobra 29, blah, 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 ground plane, not a vertical mounted antenna. Okay, well, at least you've got a true 5/8 ground plane. So this is a ham radio question for those of you who don't know. And I, unfortunately, am bound by honor not to answer it because Robert Dixon is apparently a CBer, and we just, sorry, Robert, can't talk to you about it. You're not in the secret ham radio club. Actually, it's not secret. It's all public record. I don't know why it's like this. Anyway, so I would suggest, what wattage on 10 meters? What are your options with CBs? Because legal limit for, you know, us in the club is 1,500 watts. But CBs are like, you know, they're mobile, right? But, I guess they're not all mobile. So probably something below 1,500 watts. I don't know. I'm sure there's a wattage limit for CBs. I would just go legal limit. I mean, why not? It says a small linear amplifier. I assume that's what you're talking about. So yeah, just max it out. Talk to your buddies. What do you talk about? Because people on the ham bands, we don't really talk about much. Comet of the Shire asked Gribbs, when you are filming in the condemned woods, are you worried in case they shoot trespassers? You know, I probably should be, but I'm not. I don't worry because these woods are super urban. And the only times I worry about getting shot in the woods are escaped convicts, which has happened recently. Is the only reason I'm worried about it. There was an escaped convict that killed somebody that he kidnapped in the woods. No, he killed somebody, but it was a different person than the one he kidnapped in the woods. I don't know, whatever. But I do worry about that, even though that's statistically highly improbable. I worry about stumbling upon a meth lab and getting shot. But like I said, the woods that I'm in are pretty urban woods. This is all, well, I won't say exactly where it is, but it's all places you wouldn't want to have a meth lab. And so I feel like it's pretty safe in terms of getting shot. Now, in terms of getting arrested, yeah, I worry about that. But you know what? Life's too short. I mean, I don't intentionally trespass, but if I find myself somewhere that, you know, like in that video, I was walking around and realized I was already trespassing because I was on the inside of the fence that had the signs. Sorry, didn't mean to, won't go back, that kind of thing. Finally, our last question for the evening. Typing Piper and Bearded Pipe Smoker, both those bros, I'm gonna need to go lay down after this. Both those bros brought up the issue of chupacabra in the woods, and they positively identified the tracks that I showed in the last video as chupacabra. And fellas, I will just say, if you only knew. If you only knew, and if only someone would play the YTPC drinking game with me and Shane and get us drunk enough to tell you the chupacabra stories, that would make for good content. So there's your challenge, Mr. Stant. In case you ever want to do the YTPC drinking game with me, now would be a great time to do it because I'm apparently so dehydrated. I'm really not able to sustain a lot of monologuing, right? So this would be the best time. You better get me in the next few days if you want to do the drinking game, but I'll just sweeten the pot. If you get me drunk, you get chupacabra stories. Late breaking question over a pipe. Asked Gribbs, which is more dangerous? He's talking about the Crocodile Dundee movies. Which is more dangerous? The Outback, Manhattan, or Los Angeles? There never was a movie set in Los Angeles. I don't know what you're talking about. But since you give me those three options, I was going to say Los Angeles. But when you think about it, Outback's pretty damn. I mean, they got crocodiles, they got great white sharks, they got those weird scorpion things. I think they have Portuguese man of war in Australia too. They've got like the most predators of any continent, don't they? Most human predators. They got kangaroos. They're dangerous, right? I don't know. We got water buffalo. Man, those guys will mess you up. Yeah, so I'm going to go with the Outback on this one. And then I'm going to go upstairs and eat some saltines and drink some Gatorade because my vision's getting blurry. I am the most dedicated host of any antisocial program on Sunday mornings in the YTPC ever because I am willing to show up in my dehydrated, weakened, sickened state to talk to you guys about the degradation of humanity, which frankly doesn't really have that far to be degraded. But I want you to know. I want you to know the show must go on, even if I'm throwing up. In fact, next time, I think I'm gonna make the antisocial while I'm throwing up. So you can look forward to that next time my kid brings home a gastro bug, which is probably gonna be, I don't know, a couple of weeks. Thanks for watching. Keep the ends out for the ties that bind.